back to the Brazil race here for our daily race. I hope you've had a good week, a good evening, a good morning, wherever you may be, and we welcome you back to our live ERS Racing. If you want to learn more about ERS Racing, head on down to www.ersracing.com. They will give you all the information you need to find out how to drive with us and our superb racing team. But coming up next, we'll be heading down for a short qualifying time trial here, as we'll see who can get onto podium positions on the grid, who will come on top, who will be the fastest man on the track, as we are waiting to see the drivers come out on their fast laps, come out onto the out laps first before they come onto their fast laps. So it'll be wonderful to see what will be presented here today in Brazil. And if you've just joined us, we welcome you. We hope you've had a good week and a good morning, wherever you may be in this lovely world we have. As we are just going to change some settings here. As we see now, as DRS areas, Ghostlands coming out. So the drivers now out all on the out lap, DRS lobby. On his out lap. ML Drift King on his out lap, and DDC on his out lap as well from the Alpine team here. As we head on down a bit more, there is Lobby now on his out lap here in Brazil. Some fine, nice clean weather and dry here, so it'll be superb conditions for the drivers here tonight. Excited Hawk coming in at P13 now, out on his out lap before heading into this fast lap. And DRS Junkie is in the pits at the moment, followed by DRS. Kevin Castle in the pits. Stinky Box is out on his out lap. Just getting his tyres warmed up, as you can see, as he's doing some slight little slotums. As we come to P17 position at the moment is Daliy. Just putting his metal to the pedal at the moment. Here on his fast lap at sector 1 at 17 seconds, coming into sector 2 now. Yes, we'll be coming into the hairpin now. Well, this corner is really tricky at some stage. I've seen a lot of cars spin out where he is currently right now. Interesting to see what pressure they put on today here in Brazil. It comes into the turn here, coming into the last few turns before hitting the long little straight here, but here is Lobby's got the fastest lap at 1 minute 0.9.052 seconds, so well done to ERS Lobby. He's putting his pedal to the middle, so he's currently in number 1 position here in Brazil. It was actually quite a fast track here, so we'll be seeing a lot of good times tonight. It'll be interesting to see what times we will see. If they can beat under a minute, that'll be so amazing to watch. But we'll see what the drivers can pull off today. But now Daliy is just taking P3 position at a 1 minute 9.916 seconds, and DRS in P2 position with 1 minute 9.282 seconds. So well done to him. And it's ML Drift King holding off in P4 with a 1 minute 16.772 seconds, and Greg coming in at P5 position holding off at 1 minute 25.07 seconds. So not too bad from the top 5 drivers at the moment. Still too early to call, as we've got almost under 13 minutes and 43 seconds left remaining here in the qualifying stages. But so far, it's ERS Lobby that is currently our fastest man on the track. As we head into P6 position, it's Fred with the Ferrari here. We break away into the wide cam now as we're watching Fred. He just pushed back into P8 position as Nye comes in at P7 with a 1 minute 49. But someone else has just smashed the fastest speed on this track, and it's ML Drift King coming in at 1 minute 08.546 seconds. So well done to him, being the fastest man. So he's beating ERS Lobby by a second, by 3 milliseconds faster than ERS Lobby, who was our fastest man. But Grad now coming in at P2. And also Kevin Cast coming in P3 position as well for 1 minute 08.975 seconds. So drivers putting on the pace now. As you can see, they're getting into the minute 8s. So obviously they'll come out with a good setting on their tyres. We'll make sure it's pumped up on their outlaps. So good advantage with that, making sure their tyres and brakes are quite comfortably warm enough to stretch out on their fast laps. But this is a pretty short track, so it will be a high intense fast race here. As we're heading down into the last 12 minutes here in the qualifying stages for grid positions. And so far it's ML Drift King who's currently holding off in P1 position. Grad's currently in P2 position. P3 goes to Kevin Cast at this present time, followed by ERS Lobby who's currently in the pits in P4. Daliy ERS coming out now out of the pits and back onto the track to have another shot at trying to get a fast-paced time, see if he can push himself maybe to get to pole position or P2 position. It'll be interesting to find out what he does on his fast lap after his outlap here. And as we look at Jim Malone, he's currently in the pits and he is coming out. Stereo's just taking P6 position. As we have a quick look at him, and we'll go into the cockpit as well. So Stephen coming in at P6 position, followed by Daliy. He's out on his outlap. Coming in at P7. Shout out to you, ERS Racing League International. Thank you very much, man. Big shout out to you. P8. We have DDC still currently in the pits, so he'll be wanting to come out probably near the end stages, I think, and try and give it a real good crack at it. And we have 9 now coming in at P10, still currently in the pits, and we look at Fred now. Oh, it's really hot down. Oh, he needs to change gear. Dear me. And spun out, as you can see. He should have changed his gear, would have kept the grip, but oh, it's a bit shocking there trying to take that corner in 4th gear. He should have chopped it down. And then he wouldn't have to rev up so much, and that could cause engine failure too if he does not switch gears on time and just holding it down. So now currently holding off in the top 10 at the moment. As Fred just come back into the pits. DRS Jens out on his fast lap now. Currently holding off at 1 minute. We'll be able to see, will he beat anyone else's time here? And he's coming in at a 1 minute 10.176. It's a bit slow, but he'll be wanting to put on the pace. Still enough time here for drivers to put on extra tryouts here to get into podium positions on the grid. As we're heading down to the last 9 minutes now here in Brazil, as we go back to the top now, as Steve is currently in the pits in P6. It's Daliy also out on his fast lap again. A bit slower than the last lap that he's done. Coming in sector 2 at 27 seconds now. Kevin Cast has been pushed back into P5 position. That'll be unfortunate for him, as he'll probably want to put the pace on now. He still holds off P5 at this moment. As we look at ERS Gosselin, who's just currently coming back into the pits. As we look at Grad now, holding off at P3 position, coming back out now, out of the pits to have another shot to see what he can do to put another good superb time effort on. As we push up again now, ERS Lobby holding off in P2 position. Yeah. So I think, oh no, something might, just needing people pass. Oh, I think something might be wrong with his car. ML Drift King, 1 minute 08.546, and has been smashed by Kevin Cast now. The Kevin Cast has taken pole position at this present time for 1 minute 8.455. So now Kevin Cast is our fastest man on the track, beating Drift King by a millisecond. So well done to Kevin Cast now. Holding out for the Mercedes teams today. Yeah, we come and look at Drift King now, who's in the Red Bull car, holding quite nicely in P2 position. Still enough time here for the drivers to push out for an out lap and a fast lap, as we're coming down into the last 6 minutes remaining here at Brazil before we head down to the formation lap and lights out, and getting this race underway here. And Drift King again has just smashed his record, and now he's 2 milliseconds faster than Kevin Cast at 1 minute 8.370 seconds. So well done to ML Drift King, who's just been a superb driver since I've been watching him in the last couple of races. Is come back to the back of the pack with Shin 16 just at the back here, out on his out lap. So it'll be interesting what time frame he will get, as we look at Fred holding off in P16 position at the moment, as well as Nye holding off at P15. Stinky Box coming at P14 so far, followed by Excited Hawk holding off in P13, P12 is DRS Jans for the William Racing team, and followed by P11 is DDC, who's currently in the pits. LT Boss is currently in the pits. And Jidalong now trying to speed up and see if we can push now and try and get a good time. Yeah, we'll still hold him off into P9 position as we look at Ruddison, who's currently in the pits. Stevie in P7 out on this fast lap now. It's coming out of Sector 2. Shortly we're heading into Sector 3 now, so he's got 53 seconds coming out of there, hitting the minute mark now. He'll be wanting to put the pace on now. He's just coming into the pits. He was doing quite well there. He might have pushed it. If he didn't go into there, he might have come up a bit more, but never mind. He's back in the pits, and DRS is currently in the pits as well, followed by DRS ERS Gosselin, who's out on the speed lap, coming to Sector 2 with 42 seconds. And it looks like one of the drivers at the back there might have spun out on the track. ERS Lobby now, just cruising along. What are you doing, brother? Taking photos? And Kevin Cast there holding off in P3 position at the moment. Currently also in the pits, and Grad now holding off in P2, be wanting to put the pace on to try and take over pole position as he's coming out of sector 3, but I don't think he'll be able to as he's heading off into the pits as well. Meanwhile, Drift King back out again on his outlap as we're cutting down to the last 3 minutes 20 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see what drivers do now, because a lot of drivers will start coming out now and trying to put the pressure on other drivers. But also they've got to remember there's a lot of traffic now, so it'll be interesting to see like how the drivers will take it. So nice conditions so far here in Brazil. Drivers now will just be getting their final touches as we're almost to the end of the qualifying stages for grid positions. But so far it's ML Drift King in P1 position, followed by in P2 position is Grad, and in P3 it's Kevin Cast, are our top 3 drivers here that have got the advantage on the grid. And there's ERS Goslin just coming out of the pits now, back on the road again. As we watch now, Goslin come out onto his outlap there. As we head on down to P6 position. DRS who's just cut it short now. That will take Rodderson here into P6 position. And Steve currently in the pits, and Jim Long holding off in P9. Coming in nicely and slowly around, putting the pace on out of the corners into the apex. And now Drift King again just smashed his record. So he's the fastest man on the tracks tour for 1 minute 8.261 seconds. So well done to him. LT Boss here holding off in P10. DDC holding off in P11 at the moment. Jin coming out in P12, heading back into the pits. And DRS Jens holding off in P13. P14. There's Excited Hawk who's currently in the pits too. And Stinky and Naya coming out on their outlaps too. Putting the pressure on the drivers now as we're almost coming up onto the last 40 seconds remaining here in the grid qualifying stages. But it's our man holding off in P1 position. The fastest man at the time being is at 1 minute 0.8261 seconds. It's ML Drift King for the Red Bull team. But if you've just joined us, we welcome you to the live. We hope you enjoy our live coverage of this ERS daily race here in our ERS Racing League. As we'll be tuning down to the formation lap. So stay tuned, folks, as we'll be heading down for the next for the formation lap and the main event. So who will survive? Who will crash? Who will prepare for glory? We'll find out soon here, coming up in Brazil.
How you doing, Yuso?
I'm good, my man. I'm good, my man. Doing well. Glad to be back. How you been? Have you been okay, my man? You ready for the race? As we're coming to the end now of the time qualifying stages, as we'll be heading down to the formation lap and
Every
then
lap 3 sectors purple. Yes, I am excited, but I see these fast times, and I can't compete against them. Face with tears of joy.
that's all good, man. Just put the pressure on, do the best as you can. As you can see now, as we come in, look at the pole position. So Grad will be coming in for the Alpine team at P1 position. P2 position will go to ML Drift King, and in P3 it's Kevin Cast for the Mercedes team. That is our top 3 drivers for the qualifying stages. And up next we'll be going down to the formation lap, followed by the big race.
Perhaps it is good for me. Face with tears of joy.
Yes, ERS Racing League. It could be. It could be. But good luck to all drivers. You guys are tuned in as well. Drivers, good luck to you. Be safe out there. Clean racing, boys. And then just be safe. That's all we ask. And make sure respect on the track. As we get on the way with the formation lap now, we welcome you back to Brazil. There's the drivers now doing their slowdoms to get their tyres pumped up, their tyres up to warm condition with their brakes getting pumped to gear changing, getting warmed up, the gearboxes, getting those engines nice and warm for today's 36 lap race here in Brazil. And if you've just joined us, we welcome you to our live here at ERS Racing League. If you want to find more information about us, head on to www.ersracingleague.com. Big shout out to the FIA boys. Big shout out to all the drivers who are here driving for this competition today in the Daliy race. Big shout out to the American Gaming Group. And to their president, Mr. King Knuckles. It's interesting to see what the drivers will pull off here today. Here in Brazil, good conditions for racing 2. Track is nice and dry. As they're coming around now to line up on the grid to get this race under the way. As we wait for lights out now, all the drivers are lined up on the grid. And here we go, folks. Oh, and there was a drive-through penalty from JJH, so he'll be getting penalised for that as we look at Kevin Cast now, who's coming in P1 position, followed by ML Drift King at the back there, holding in P2, but Grad's holding off in P3, and I think there was some contact at the back because some drivers are getting pushed back to the end. Rudderson holding off in P4 at the moment, followed by Steve O'Connor holding off in P5 position. He's not breaking away from the back of the pack now. Holding off in P6 is never wrong. Holding off in P7, coming up at DRS now. Holding off from the Williams team now. Holding off Knight behind him. He's going to take him on the inside, and I think he might too, and he does. Knight just takes over. It was Style in the Mercedes team, so he's on the hunt now to try and push up into the top 5 as we head on down to P8 position. It's DRS. The Williams team, and behind him is ERS Lobby, who's trying and overtake him as well. I can see he's getting ready to pounce now, and it looks like the Mercedes driver again. No, he's just taking it over into P6 position, so well done to him. So he's pushing up quite nicely and putting the fight on here in the first lap. As we look at P10 position now, it's Fred. He's holding off there. Probably needs to put on the pace in the next couple of laps, so he can try and push his way up into P5 into P6 position, but it'll be understandable if he can't because ML Drift King has just put on the fastest lap here at a 1 minute 15 so far, and so now drivers will be wanting to put the pace on and trying to get those fast laps here because this is a fast short track, so it'll be a nice short fast race here. Even though there's 36 laps, it'll just go instantly just like that as we come into P12 now and have a look at DRS Jans with the Williams Racing team too, just pushing up his way up to catch up to Fred there in the Ferrari. As we look at JJH2 coming up now, just putting the pressure on as much as he can as well, and P14 is from the Haas driver. It is Jin comfortably just sitting there waiting patiently, but as you can see in P13 position, JJ has also got to top into the pits within the next 2 laps or else he'll get penalised for his jump start at the start of the race. As we look at LT Boss now holding off in P15 position with 1 minute 31 at the present time for his time. He'll be wanting to put the pace on as much as he can and try and get up towards P10 position as we look at Excited Hawk coming in at P16. Same will follow by him. He will be wanting to push the next couple of laps. And ML Drift King has just smashed his fastest lap again with a 1 minute 10. And Stinky Box now and with the McLaren team holding off at 1 minute 36 at the moment. On in P17 in that back of the pack, it is the ERS Gosler now from the Aston Martin, so he'll be wanting to put the pressure on and try and claw his way back up into the middle of the pack as we come back to our current leader now and head off into the cockpit with him as he's coming up into the first hairpin there. ML Drift King with a 1 minute 10. Oh, and he's spun out. This could be crucial for him if he's just spun out. He needs to get back on the track quickly and safely, but that will take Kevin Cast and Grant to take P1 position and P2 position, so after that spin out on ML Drift King, he'll need to push back now and try and claim back P1 position, but on the inside or on the outside of him is the AlphaTauri driver, and I think Rudderson is going to do it and try and overlap him, but don't be too worried because ML Drift King is a superb driver and he's going to try and take it without hitting him. Superb driving side by side too. Well done for that one, but ML Drift King still holding off in P3, so he'll be wanting to put the pace on now as he's getting the fastest lap times. So he'll be wanting to push now, as we can see now on the backhand, the Mercedes driver coming up and pushing now and saying, I'm here boy, watch out, on my way. I want P3 position badly as you do, so there'll be a fight now, but as you know, ML Drift King is a good driver, he knows how to defend, but it looks like he's trying to push him on the inside again. And I think Grad's going to do it. No, will not do it. Yes. So now ML Drift King gets pushed back into P4 position. Nyes in P3 now, so he'll be wanting to try and get into P2 to help Kevin Cast, his teammate. So it could be interesting now. Now the trick is now, will Kevin Cast play decoy for Nye by holding off Grad? Just enough time for Grad to get into P2 position, but the next question will be, will these two fight for their positions or will they just help defend? You never know what drama we could see here though. Could be on here for the Mercedes team, but they also got to take care of Grad at the same time. He's holding off in P2 position, so far it's a Mercedes P1 and P3. And I think ML Drift King will be wanting to push But he doesn't want to push too early as there are a lot of laps left. As we see, Stinky Box has got a 3-second penalty. So it'll be interesting to see now as we come into P5 position and have a look at Ruddison with the AlphaTauri having a good race so far here in the 5 laps, and good race as well. Yeah, as we come to look at Jim Along with the Alfa Romeo team holding off in P6 position. Just having a steady, comfortable pace on him. He knows it's early days yet too, here only in the 5 laps, as we'll be heading into the 6th lap very shortly. Yeah, Stevo now holding off in P7 now. So Steve of the Ferrari, but he's got DRS behind him in the Williams team, just getting ready to pounce, and he does too. I knew this was coming on the straight here. Interesting move here, tactic. So interesting move there from DRS. He's just pushed himself into P7 position and put Stevo back into P8 position, and Stevo's also got a 3-second penalty. ERS Lobby now coming on the outside to take on Stevo. Still there, but Stevo's just pushing it a bit more. There's ERS Lobby now looking for a ready chance to pounce onto Stevo to get in front of him, putting a good pressure on. So these two are having a good battle at the moment. Here on lap 6, coming to an end and heading into lap 7 as we come to the top 10 now. It is DDC who's holding off the top 10, and outside DDC it's Jin coming in at P11 for the Haas team. He's putting the pressure on now, was at the back, now pushed himself up into P11, so he'll be wanting to push more now in these laps to get pushed up into further, maybe into P7 or 6 within the next coming laps. So it'll be good for him. And looks like Grad and Kevin Haas, we better quickly go back to the front here as Grad just takes over into P1 position on the Alpine team. And so now it's Kevin and not... Oh, no! Kevin's just spun out there. That could be crucial for him, as it is, because ML Drift King gets back into P3 and Knight hits up into P2 now. So unfortunate for Kevin Cass, who spun out there. Dear me, what a race. Oh, but also ML Drift King has got a 3-second penalty, but it should have really cost him, as he's got pretty much good fast lap times, but you just never know. That could sting him at the end of this race. So now we have a new P1 leader in the Alpine team. It's Grad, followed by Nye holding off in P2, trying to put the pace on to catch up to Grad, and Drift King as well. As you can see, still got the fastest lap on the track, so no one's beaten his time yet. But if he can keep putting on good fast times, like between 110 and a 19, even a 18, that should give him enough time to get that, wipe out that 3-second penalty, and that could give him a chance to get into P1 position. And as we look at Kevin Cast now, Stinky Box has got himself another 3-second penalty for cutting our corner. So that's unfortunate for him, and that will cost him his race as well. He'll need to produce some good fast times. As we look into P5 position with the Alfa Romeo team now, Debbie Geelong holding off at a 1 minute 11.45 seconds. So well done to him at this present time. And DRS is coming in at P6 position. And as we come back to look at Stevo again, holding off in P7 and in P8 as the ERS Lobby. He's putting the pressure on as much as he can to try and pounce up to get further up into the pack as well. Ruddison's just got a 3-second penalty as well, so that could affect him at the end of the race. And DDC holding off in the other Alpine car, holding off in P9, and Stin now just pushing his way up from way at the back of the pack. Now he's in the P10 position, so well done to him. So he'll be Will saying to the drivers, watch out on my way, I'm coming up as fast as I can. And LT Boss at the back, also in the Alfa Romeo team, holding off in P11. Excited Hawk, Red Bull as well, holding off in P12, and behind him it's Fred, holding off in P13. Rudderson now way at the back at P14, also with a 3-second time penalty, and JJ now from the McLaren, 1 minute 12 for him. There is ERS holding off at P16, Stinky Box holding off at P17, and now he's currently in P18 now for 6-second penalty, and DRS Jazz moves up to P17. So interesting racing. Geelong now just got himself a time penalty, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. So, oh, and JJ just got another time penalty as well, so he's got a 3-second. So that's a bit unfortunate for some drivers with the time penalties. It could cost them at the end of the race. It might not. And now ML Drift King has been pushed back into P7 from being at the front, so that's unfortunate for him. No, he's currently back into P10 now as he's coming out of the pits. So he'll be wanting to put the pressure on now and get back up into pole position and podium positions. As we look now, Steve-O trying to keep up close, and I think ERS is using ERS as well, just trying to boost a little bit more, straining further away. Kevin Castle with 3-second penalty and in P3, 9 still in P2, Grant still in P1, but got a nice comfortable lead at the moment. But the question is, when they pit, will they have enough time? Will their pit crew be fast enough to get them back out on the track? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there when drivers start hitting the pits, and other drivers will try and push as much as they can to get into different positions and hold them before they have to go in the pits. It'll be quite cool to see what happens there. But yes, our current leader at the moment is Grad, holding off in P1 and P2. It's nice. We look inside the cockpit in the Mercedes with Nye, and then look at his teammate behind him in P3, doing comfortably well. As you can see now, he'll just want to put the pressure down now as he's coming out of the apex, but also at the same time hoping that he does not spin out. A lot of drivers been spinning out here in Brazil because it's a tricky track, but also it's a very fast track as well. So we come back to the Y cab now, coming out of the cockpit, thinking Moss got another, so that could really cost them now a 9-second penalty towards Stinky Box, so that's unfortunate for him. Yes, Kevin Cast now comes in. So at the moment it's still ML Drift King with the fastest lap. As we look at DRS Die. Now ML Drift King has just smashed it with 1 minute 9, so he just has to keep that pace up now. To push him back, right back up into pole position or podium position. And David Geelong with Alfa Romeo pushing up to the front as much as he can, trying to catch up and getting ready to pounce on DRS, who's in front of him in P4 position. As he is too, he's putting the metal to the pedal. Trying to get that full pounce on. Steve-O now holding off in P6 position. And coming out on DDC now, and looks like Fresh has got a 3-second penalty, so that's unfortunate for him. LT Boss now holding off at 1 minute 11, just pushing through, and he's fighting with Drift King, who's come back into PA position and still fighting. They're putting the pace on as well, but I think Drift King might just get a hair on the... Oh, he just went too wide, so that's unfortunate for Drift King. They'll push him back again. Back into 10th position. So we're wanting to start over again. They're still the fastest man on the track. So unfortunate there, he went too wide there and lost it outside there. So that pushes us way back now. So we'll be wanting to start again. It should be a very good battle here between LT Boston and ML Drift King, who's going to try and do it again. He's going to try and take him on the outside. Just waiting for a good opportunity to put the pace on and go for it. As he's going to come now here, almost ending in the next minute here. So this will be interesting now as they come up. Will Drift King put the pressure on now and overtake as much as he can? There's the battles going on now right here. Trying to find opportunity to get up there to overtake again. It's a good fight going on back here. As we see now, our Drift King now pushes into P8 position. So he is actually fighting now, and he wants it more. Stinky Box got another 3-second penalty, so unfortunate for him. That takes him up to 15 seconds, so that's not very good from Stinky Box and the McLaren team. As we see now, waiting for it. Mount Drift King now just pushing up into P7 position, just waiting for the opportunity and just went for it. So well done to Jamal Drift King now, still the fastest man on the track with a 1:09. As we will break away. And I think Stimboss just spun out there. Yes, he did too. So that would be unfortunate for him. And ERS Daliy holding off at P10. JJ and P11. P12 is Ruddison. P13 is Fred. P14 ERS Lobby. P15 is DDC. DRS Iris Gosden holding off at the back in P16. And P17 position is DRS Jant, followed by Stinky Box with a 15-second penalty, holding off at the back at P18. And Grad still holding off now, got a comfortable lead at the moment, holding off in P1 position. The drivers will be nearing heading off into the pits as well soon. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As we look at Nye holding off in P2 position. Not doing too well, and his teammate behind him, Kevin Cash, is pushed back into P3, so it's an all Mercedes podium at the moment, but one of them will be willing to try and get onto P1 position. It'll be interesting to see what happens there as we look at Jerry Long now holding off on P4. Also got a 3-second penalty, followed by Stevo, who's also got a 3-second penalty, holding off on P4 and 5. But Jerry Long now just took over and has got himself P4. Stevo just rushing back there. Now my Drift King has pushed his way up now, so he is fighting now all the way from the back. Coming out of the pits all the way into P6 now, and he's coming on the outside of him, and he does overtake Steve now. ML Drift King is just in the zone, bouncing in and out and pouncing wherever he can on drivers. So well done to ML Drift King. Now has come back into P5 and he's saying to everyone else, move out of my way, I'm coming back for P1 position. So it'll be quite good to see now as we're in we are in lap 16. So interesting to see now what happens here. Can ML Drift King do a major comeback and take P1? So interesting to see now. As you can see, there's a lot of gaps now. So it looks like Jibbalong now has come back in to the pits. LT Boss staying out and carrying on. ML Drift King heads into P3 now, pouncing on those opportunities while drivers head off into the pits. Yeah, look at LT Boss now, P5. Kevin Cast now coming out of the pits. Oh, brilliant timing. Coming out, so that pushes him back into P5. So now he'll be wanting to put the pressure on to get back. And Tyrant's Hank on ML Drift King to take back P3 position as well. It's Jin Boss. Oh, it's Jin here coming up at P6. Also doing well. As we're in the 17th lap here in Brazil. Jibelong holding off in P7. DRS Die holding off in P8 position. JJ currently holding off in P9 and defending Rudderson, who's behind him, is ready to pounce as well. Looks like he's going to try and confuse him by going in then out. So a good battle going on for P10 and P9 position, and Grad now coming in at P1 position. And now Drift King putting on the pace now and overtakes. And so Drift King now holding off in P1 position, fighting his way back from all the way in P10. From coming out of the pits and fought all his way back, and is currently still the fastest man on the track here in Brazil. And if you've just joined us, we welcome you to our ERS Daily Racing here on our live. And we hope you enjoy it. It's been so exciting so far. And most importantly, it's been an amazing race watching all these skillful drivers here in Brazil. If you want to find more information about ERS Racing, head on down to www.ersracingleague.com. And I'll give you all the information you need to sign up with us and to race with these fine other drivers here today in Brazil. As we look at Drift King, who's still currently our fastest man on the track with a 1 minute 9. DDC has just got himself a 3-second penalty, so that could cost him at the end of the race. As we look at Grad holding off in P2 position now. Hasn't dropped back any further than where he currently is. So well done to him now, just putting on the pace and keeping out of the back of the pack as well. As we look at here now, Stinky Box is getting lapped again from the drivers. Nye and Kevin holding off in P3 and P4 position with the Mercedes team. As we have a look at Kevin, who's holding off a P4 position with a 3-second penalty, so he's putting on the pace to try and catch up to his teammate, and hopefully they can work together on taking P2 and P1 position. And Stin now all the way from the back as well has pushed himself up to the front of P5 position, so he'll be wanting to put the pressure on the drivers in front of him and also challenge for podium position. As Jibelong and holding off in P6. Also having a nice drive today, has been everywhere on the grid so far, and now has caught himself up into P6, so well done to him. P7 we've got DRS Die, he's putting the pressure on. As you can see, he's trying to catch up to Jibelong. Got the DRS on as well, and he's catching up nicely as well. As we look at Rudderson holding off in P8 position. Stevo coming at the back there now in P9 position. LT Boss holding the 10th position as well, holding up the top 10. And now it's just out the top 10. It's ERS Lobby. He's putting the pace on as well, and it looks like we've got a battle going on as well. Just in the front, yes we do. It's Stevo and LT Boss fighting it out with each other. So the Ferrari and Alfa Romeo going toe to toe. I think the Alfa Romeo car. Oh, yes, Lobby was going to pounce as well. So interesting to see now the Ferrari and Aston Martin. But will ERS Lobby put enough pressure on to overtake him? As we'll go to the cam and have a look in the cockpit cam. There goes the DRS. Ooh. ML Drift King back in P1 position. As we'll head on further down the pack, EDC holding off the P12 with a 6-second penalty as well. P13 Excited Hawks, the Red Bull team, just putting the pressure on and they're driving quite nicely as well. JJ here with a 6-second penalty as well, holding off in P14. ERS holding off in P15 position, and P16 is ERS Jans. And P17 it's Fred with a 11-second penalty, and Stinky Box at the back here with currently holding off in P18 and with a 15-second penalty. So unfortunate for those two drivers. And then our Drift King, our current leader, has pushed them way from the back all the way back in to P1 position. Now he'll be wanting to put the pace on now and keeping it like that from everyone, as we're at the 22nd lap now. And Fred just got himself another 3-second penalty, unfortunate for him, so that takes him up to 14 seconds. So that will cost him his race. As well, as we come out of the cockpit, PM into the wide cam, we have a look at Grant holding off in P2 position as well for the Alpine team, and Fred just got him another fucking 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So unfortunate for him. So that's really unfortunate, and yes, I think he might have retired. And Nye holding off at a 3-second penalty as well, so that might cost him at the end of his race too. But ML Drift King still holding off in P1 position, followed by Grad as well, holding on P2. Nye holding at P3 with the Mercedes, and Chemicast still holding up P4 position. As we're on lap 23. And I think Jibalong now holding in P5, also wanting to put the pressure on. P6 DRS, Daliy holding there. P7 it's LT, Rudderson holding off at P8, Stevo P9 holding up the top 10, it's ERS Lobby. He's also putting on the pace to try and get himself up into a better positions as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. DDC currently holding on at P11, Stin at P12 as well. Stin holding at P12. Excited Hawk holding at P13. JJ P14. P15 is DRS ERS. P16 is DRS Gents. And P17 is Stinky Box with a 15-second penalty. But ML Drift King here on the 24th lap holding it out there in P1 position. So not bad from the drivers now, all putting the pace on as much as they can to try and get good fast times. And also, most drivers have penalties now, so they'll be wanting to put good fast times so the penalties do not affect them at the end of the race. Oh, Grad, it's just come off the track. So that could cost him. He's spun out there, so that's unfortunate for Grad. He's pushed him back into P4 position, so that will make it the Mercedes boys coming to P3 and P2 position now. So the fight's on. Well, now it's going to be interesting. Will the Mercedes just keep it as that, or will they try and push? They do have enough laps to do it to catch up to ML Drift King, but ML Drift King is the fastest man on the track, and so it probably might be a bit of a trick trying to catch up to him. But we'll see what the Mercedes boys do and see if they can try and catch ML Drift King, but I highly doubt that they will. But it'll be interesting to see if they can. As we look at Grad now holding off at P4, so he spun out on the track, so he'll be a bit disappointed now. He's back into P4 position, so he'll be wanting to put the pace on and try to catch up to the Mercedes boys and disrupt them from getting on the podium. As we look at Geelong now holding on at P5, JJ's just got himself another time penalty, so unfortunate for him. That will take him to 9-second penalty that he has. And in P6, the ERS Daliy just doing nicely, just keeping a good pace on and just trying the best he can and just getting ready to pounce and take over when he can. LT Boss as well, just putting on the nice comfortable drive. And the ERS Lobby just pushed himself into P8, and he'll be wanting to push now and try and push as much as he can. There's Rule coming to the end of the 25th lap here. Steve-O just behind the ERS Lobby in P9 position. Also trying to getting ready to overtake ERS Lobby. Shin here in P10, just comfortably driving quite well. And just wanting to put the pace down as much as he can, holding up the top 10. And DDC and P11 and P12, Excited Hawk, Ruddison is currently in at P13. DRS Gents is holding off in P15. Oh, sorry, P14. And DRS Aries now fixing his wing. Then coming out of the pits now after getting his ride fixed. And it'll be the same for JJ2, coming in holding off at P16 and P17. It's Stinky Box still behind. As we look at Drift King now, our current leader still doing quite well and holding off. And holding off quite nicely. But yet it's still the Mercedes boys that are still holding off in P2 and P3 positions. So interesting to see if they can catch up to Drift King. As you can see, Drift King has the fastest lap here in Brazil. There's Kevin Cast as well, holding up quite nicely. Graz just got him a 3-second penalty, so all drivers from P1 to P5 have all got time penalties, but it will be the P5 driver holding off there. DB DeLong holding it a 11.457 seconds for his fastest lap with a 6-second penalty, so that could cost him at the end of the race. But it'll be interesting to see that the top 4 drivers, if all have got 3-second penalties, what the result will be at the end of this race. As we'll come out from Kevin Carson, look at Grad, putting the pressure on as well, as much as he can. Try to get up into P3, into podium position. As we're coming up, 28th lap now. P5, as we've seen just before, Division Long. DRS behind him as well, putting the pace up as much as he can, trying to push now to overtake. LT Boss holding off in P7 position. ERS Lobby is still holding off in P8. It looks like he'll be hit to defend, because coming up fast behind him is Steve-O again. And Stin holding up the top 10 now. As we come to the back of the pack, it's DDC in P11, Excited Hawk in P12, Ruddison still holding off in P13, DRS Jans holding off in P14, P15 is DRS ERS Gosselin, and P16 is... Oh, that's it! That's it for JJ. He hit into the wall, and that's his day over here in Brazil. So unfortunate for the McLaren team. One of their drivers is out. Oh, that was unfortunate for him. So you see now, smashed into the wall, and that is it. Wings off, the tyres come off as well, and it looks like the chassis is gone too. So unfortunate for JJ. That will be the race over, and one driver down from the McLaren team. As we look at Stinky Box now, who's currently the back of the pack, holding off in P16 position with a 15-second penalty. So unfortunate for the McLaren team here today in Brazil, as I think we will be getting the safety car here on lap 27. So this will give enough time for drivers to head into the pits as well to take advantage of that, and as well as catching up as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, as we've only got 6 more laps left to go, including this one. You can see the pit crew doing well, and just got him out really fast for Drift King. So he took advantage of the pits while he can. There's only 6 more laps left to go, but we've also got a safety car, so drivers will be able to catch up. So it's going to be interesting now what happens here. As we can see now, Drift King just following behind the safety car as we wait for the other drivers. They will all be catching up. Some will be hitting the pits while they've got the chance to, and as other drivers will be putting on the pace to catch up to our current leader, and they'll be restarting the race once the safety car has gone back into the pits. So it'll be interesting to see now within these last laps as we're coming up here in Brazil, what will the story be telling? Will it be ML Drift King taking podium position? Will it be the Mercedes boys holding off on P1 and P3 position? We just never know, because at the moment, once Nye's teammate catches up, now will be the questions asked. How will they attack ML Drift King? Will they try and decoy while one tries and takes the lead? Will they both go for it, the Mercedes boys, and try and take P1 and P2 positions? We'll find out very soon once the safety car has gone back in. But it's also unfortunate too that all the other drivers have enough time to catch up as well before the safety car goes back into the pits. So it's going to be very, very cool what we see next here in Brazil. See now, the drivers are catching up as the 4 main drivers are all there ready to go, and they are waiting for that safety car to head back on into the pit so they can continue on. As we're now in lap 31 now with the safety car. If you look at the picture now, we've got Red Bull, the 2 Mercedes drivers. Ooh. Wow, something's just going on there. Dear me. It's a vehicle, yes. So those gents now collided, so that's a bit unfortunate for that. But so far, as you can see here, ML Drift King with the Red Bull team, Nye and Kevin Cars holding in P1 and P2 positions. It looks like DDC's just got another 3-second penalty, so that's unfortunate for him getting that. It could really cost him at the end of this race now, as he has a 12-second penalty on him. And it looks like Stinky Box just got disqualified as well. So that's 3 drivers out of the race, so that brings it down to only 15 drivers fighting it out. As we're still waiting for the safety car to head on into the pits. And I think these technical problems for DRS Gosler. No, Jim Long. Something's wrong with his ride for some reason. And here's DRS Gosling holding off at P14 position. DRS Gents getting his wing fixed after having a collision there, so he'll be getting fixed up and be heading back out to the track, out of the pits. As we look at ERS Gosling holding on P13, ERS Lobby holding P12, Radisson holding off at P11, Excited Hawk holding off at P10, Jin holding off at
I lost connection and
P9.
somehow I can't take control.
Oh dear me. So we got a technical problem with GB Geelong. That's a bit unfortunate for that. Oh dear me. As we're waiting for the safety car to go back in and the races to get on the way. Safety car will be in now. As you can see, our Drift King just trying to hold off the drivers behind him. Go to a wider cam
Have a
now.
good race, everyone. Unfortunately, it is over for me.
So that's unfortunate for GB Geelong. He's currently in P15. They cannot, after due to loss of connection, cannot reconnect and is unable to continue. So that will be placed as a DNF. Did not finish the race. We'll have to put that down in the books for that one. So unfortunate for that incident there as we get back underway. Now, as we're going to have a look now, what will the Mercedes drivers do? Will they both try and pounce on ML Drift King, or will they just try and decoy him and let one driver go? We don't know how this game plan is going to work out, but we're about to find out very soon. But I don't think they'll be able to try and catch it because ML Drift King is just pulling away at pace. Well done to him. Dear me. Well done, well done. As you can see, Nye and Kevin now probably trying to figure a plan out between them, what they can do. If one's going to decoy ML Drift King, or will they even have enough pace to keep up with him? Because it looks like ML Drift King is just slightly pulling away, just slightly so ever, as we're almost coming down to the last 3 laps here in Brazil. If you just joined us, you've come to the right place to watch this exciting race. It's about to unfold now with ML Drift King coming in at a 1 minute 9.850 seconds. So he smashed this time again now. Now he's back in the 1 minute 9s. Be interesting to see now what these Mercedes boys can do. Can they keep up the pace with him? But it's going to be, it's pretty out of it to see because the ML Drift King is just pulling away ever so slightly. As we come look at Grant in P4 position with a 3-second penalty as well. DRS holding off in P5 position for 1 minute 11. And LT Boss holding off in P6 position as well. And Excited Hawk in P7. Rudderson now holding off in P8. And Shin now just trying to overtake everybody, coming in at P9. P10 is Stevo, followed by DDC and P11. DRS Jans holding off in P12. P13 is DRS ERS, and ERS Lobby now coming out of the pits in P4. And it's Geelong there, it's got technical problems. And ML Drift King just carrying on nicely now, still putting on the pace as he smashed his record again before 1 minute 9.694 seconds. So well done to him now. It's almost near the end on our second to last lap here. Almost at the end now. As ML Drift King now just pulling away ever so slightly again. So well done to ML Drift King. As we're almost at the end of our race here, coming up into the final lap. This is where it's going to take it all. Will we see a battle between the Mercedes and the Red Bull outfit here, coming up into our last lap here in Brazil? Or will it be a Red Bull takeout on podium position? We're about to find out now. As we're heading into the last lap, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, this is the last lap here in Brazil, and it's going to be all on with the drivers now, because it's a Red Bull taking P1 so far, but followed behind him ever so slightly, and catching is Nye. And behind Nye is his teammate Kevin Carson, P3. But will ML Drift King have enough pace now and carry it on? I think he will, but anything could happen. So drivers now would just be careful on the way how they're driving here. Crucial moments here for P1 and P2 and P3 positions. No mistakes, they would not. No mistakes happening here. As they're coming into the last corners now on the hairpin and heading to the finish line. But will these time penalties cost them? We're about to find out as they're coming up to the finish line now, and it'll be the Red Bull driver, ML Drift King, who takes the win here in Brazil. Nye coming in at P2, P3 is Kevin Carsgran, DRS Daliy comes in P4 position, followed by Grant in P5 here. So well done to all the drivers. I will be going for an interview with the drivers as well. Just bear with me one moment, folks. So as we wait for the drivers to join the chat here, as we watch him now, ML Drift King now
boys, good race.
Coming up to take the podium position. Yes, GG to you too, Kevin. Well done, mate. As Jin comes into the chat now, we'll have a quick chat with him as well. As we wait for our drivers, if they could join us for a quick interview here. So well done to the Mercedes boys as well.
GG.
Yes, GG Nigel. Thank you for tuning into the live. As you can see, there's the podium results there. As we take a look at our top drivers here in our race. So if we could get ML Drift King in here, hopefully we can have an interview with him. But we have the drivers here. Kevin Cars, how are you, my man?
Good evening, mate. Good
How
to
are
have you
you?
back.
Yeah, thank you, my man. Yes, just been busy at work, so I'm happy to be back myself. Excellent race, man. Very clean racing out there today, what I could see. Your thoughts, and tell us about how you felt about today's race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I think 4 people in front had quite the same pace. So it was going to be a good one for sure. And unfortunately, I fell first. ML Drift King spun out, and afterwards I spun out one more time. But
Yes.
yeah, ML Drift King managed to come back, which is really insane drive for him.
Yes.
And I think the safety car came on a great moment for him as well. And yeah, afterwards it was just a good race to the line, but no possibilities to overtake someone. So P3, good.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting podium position as well with your teammate. But would you like any shout outs to do, my guy?
yeah, like I said, shout out to you to have you back again on the live stream.
No, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Now we'll head
Cheers.
on. Cheers, man. Now we'll head on to Nye.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations on getting P2, my man. Your thoughts on the
Thank
race?
you. Yeah, I had an amazing start. I got from P6 into P6 in the first round, of in the first lap. So yeah, I got spun out when I was second. So, but then
Yes.
when it came to safety cars, so it doesn't really
Yes.
matter. Yeah, the softs didn't work out. The first lap was cold, so yeah, the second lap I was catching up, but yeah. Emil
Oh.
Drifting did a good job, so GG's to him.
Yeah, well done, man. Do you have any shout outs you would like to make, my bro?
Yeah, to the podium and to you. You are an
Oh,
amazing commentator, so
oh, thanks, man.
thank you.
No, thank you, man. You got put on a superb race, so thank you for your interview, my man. I'll let you go celebrate with your teammate. Congratulations for both you drivers. It was a bit of a unfortunate. It wasn't a P1, P2 result that you guys would have wanted for your Mercedes here in Brazil today. But anyway, you guys were a podium, and well done. Excellent driving from both of you. So congratulations once again. And I will catch you on the next race, my man. And thank you for having the interview with us as well.
Thank you, man.
No worries. Now we'll head on down to the winner of our race here tonight, Mr. ML Drift King.
Hi man, good evening.
Yeah, my bro. How are you, my man?
Yeah, fine, fine.
That's
Yeah,
the one.
it was a pretty good race.
Yes. Yes, it was. So,
Like
your thoughts, my
like Kevin
man?
Cass said, yeah, like Kevin Cass said, the safety car came like on the perfect timing. I just came out with my tires,
Mm-hmm.
so that was pretty good. And
Oh, I was
yeah,
just
also,
Oh, I was
yeah,
just,
sir.
you know, I was quite surprised when you went into the pits and it put you back in P10, and just your skillful driving, man, like all the way through to get back into P1 position. What, and plus that safety car too was like, oh, just a perfect race, man, perfect race for you.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was really pretty good. Not a lot of mistakes, just one spin.
Yeah, yes. You know,
But
I just happened to be on you when you spun, and I said to
no
myself,
shit.
I said to myself, this could go any way now. Unfortunate, but no, you just drove back to success, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations, man. Like that was actually
thanks a lot.
some of the superb driving I've seen in a while. Like wow, it looks like it seemed like it was like watching Max Verstappen again coming from P10 and taking to P1. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that was amazing, man.
yeah, it was.
Absolutely
Thank you, thank you.
sensational.
Thanks a lot.
Any other thoughts on the race as well with you, man?
Well, it was yeah, it was pretty good. It was just a pretty good race. Not a lot of things that happened, so I'm pretty happy.
I also see that like to me like it was probably one of the best races I've seen in a long time from all drivers, even with the new drivers too that I've seen. It was just superb. Like
Yeah, there
even
were
in
like
there were,
Nigel was pretty quick.
yeah,
In the beginning, I couldn't catch him. He was faster than me, and
yes,
somehow he lost a little pace at the mid of the race, and I got back to him. But in the beginning, he was very strong. I
yeah.
couldn't even when I had the softs, like he had the mediums, and I still it was faster. So
It was quite amazing
he
watching
did a
you.
good job also.
Yeah, it was quite amazing watching you too because like every lap you do, it was like getting faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, yeah,
It was just like,
yeah.
what is going on with this guy? It's just like every
Yeah,
time he's driving a lap, it's getting faster and faster and faster, and
yeah, the car
it
the car
just
became lighter
superb,
and
man.
lighter and lighter also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was just superb driving from you, man. But
thanks a lot.
have you got any shout outs you would like to do?
But well, to all the drivers who drove today, like it was pretty clean race for so far as I could see. So thanks a lot, and also to you, man, for
Well,
the pretty good commentary. Also,
thanks, man. That's much appreciated. And well, I better let you go so you can celebrate your win here in Brazil.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Don't drink too much.
No.
You're racing tomorrow, man. So
Yeah,
early sleep for the race, big race tomorrow.
that's true. That's true.
But anyway, my man, congratulations once again from all of
Okay,
us
thank
here
you,
at the
man.
racing from ERS Racing team, man. Congratulations. Go enjoy your win, man. And we're looking forward to watching your race tomorrow as
Thanks a lot,
well.
man.
No worries, man. GG.
Okay, bye bye, man.
Bye bye. Well, that brings it to the end here of our live here at ERS Racing in Brazil. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. We will be putting on another live tomorrow, Saturday, and maybe Sunday as well. Well, I will let you guys know in the future hand as I do work as well and try my best to come back here and commentate and go live. So if you've enjoyed it, much appreciated. If you do like us, please like and subscribe. And if you want to find out more information about ERS Racing, head on down to www.ersracingleague.com and that will give you enough information to get you sorted to come and join it with us and race with us. So for me in the ERS Racing League team here, it's going to be bye for now, and we'll catch you on the next one. Be humble, be safe, and love on each other. And this is ERS also called Benji signing out for tonight's live. Glad to be back, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!